Hi, I'm Shoestring Jay and welcome back to my channel where I talk about all things thrifty, frugal and money saving. And this week I thought I would outline my 5 favourite festive frugal things as we are fast approaching Christmas, not very long to go at all. And I thought it would be something fun to talk about. And this video is being done in collaboration with Tess, Frugal Living. So I will link her channel below. And once you've watched my video, do hop over to Tess's channel and check out her 5 favourite festive frugal things. It's a bit of a mouthful, isn't it? So I'm finally in my new office, in our new home. And if you watch my channel regularly, you will know it's been a bit of a saga. I finally getting to the point where I feel like I am perhaps catching up with my own tail. So I have been chasing it a while. It's all been quite stressful. As they say, moving house is stressful, and I've found it more stressful than ever before this time. But we're here. I don't regret it. I love being here. We live in a lovely place. Our neighbours are really nice. We're really happy with the house. So I don't regret a minute. I'm really, really glad that we've moved house, and I'm in my new office, which is not quite set up as I want it, but my daughter's got me this poster, which is the cover of my new book. So if you're looking for a nice little festive stocking filler, this is my book. It's called Extreme Frugality, Save Money Like Your Grandma, and as you can possibly tell from that title, it's a kind of old school, old style money saving book. It's got some kind of more modern money saving tips as well. So if you know somebody who's not particularly good with money, or somebody who just likes that kind of frugality and wants a bit of frugal inspiration, then you can get that from Amazon, and I will link it below. So anyway, moving swiftly on to the first of my 5 favourite festive frugal things. I think I'm just going to just say the next thing from now on. My first one would be, because it's saved me so much money over the years, would be having a family secret Santa. So I've mentioned this in previous videos, I'm sure, that my family, we've got quite a big family. I'm one of 4 children. We've all got partners, we've got children. So, you know, it's quite a large family. When we all get together, it's very noisy, it's very fun. But it was also getting very expensive Christmas because we used to buy individual presents for each other. And as the family expanded, so when it was just the 4 children and our parents, it was fine. But as the family expanded, it just got cripplingly expensive. It took an awful long time to buy the presents. You never knew if you were getting quite the right thing. It took forever to wrap them all. And it was quite a stress. And for me, it felt like a financial strain. We decided eventually to try doing a secret Santa draw. So we don't include the children in our draw. Anybody who's still in full-time education will buy presents for individually. Once they get into work, they become adults in our eyes and they join the secret Santa draw, and it's worked really well so far. And we have a budget. Our budget's around about £30 a person, enough to buy something really worthwhile, a worthwhile gift. You can go over it if you want to a little bit. Sometimes I do. And we tend to ask other people what they want as well. So we won't ask them directly, but we'll ask partners, parents, etc. So that we know we're buying something that they'll really like and enjoy as a gift. And it saved a lot of money, as I say. It saved so much time so that we're just buying and thinking about one gift. And it's been really good fun. I mean, we all open our presents together and we have to kind of guess who's bought the present for us. And it is really good fun. So that's the first of my favourite festive frugal things, is to have a secret Santa draw. You can do this with friends, obviously. You can do it, people do it at work as well, don't they? But you don't have to each buy lots of different presents, expensive presents. And you know, we're in a cost of living crisis. So if you suggested this to your family, it's not too late probably to mention it, then you might find they jump at it. So that's the first of my favourite festive frugal things. The second one is finding free or cheap Christmas activities. Now, we're in a new area, so it's quite exciting to see what goes on in this area. It's quite a nice community. There seem to be a lot of groups that host community events, and it's quite a busy sort of active community, which I like. That was one of the draws. So I've already seen posters for loads of different events. There are Christmas markets and bazaars, not just the schools ones. There are 2 schools here, and they are hosting them. But just community events. There's an art trail. There is, what else have I seen? Oh, I saw something really nice. I thought, if you're alone at Christmas, our community hall on Christmas Day is doing a free Christmas lunch. So, and for anyone who's a bit out on a limb, is going to be a bit lonely, you can go along there and have your Christmas lunch. I thought that was really nice. I've seen fairs, Christmas markets, Christmas carol concerts, all sorts of things going on. In the city nearby, we have a castle, and at the castle, the council always has one day during December where it's completely free to enter the castle museum, and they put on carol singers and mulled wine, and they have Father Christmas for the children and that kind of thing. So check out what your local council's doing. A lot of councils will do little events like that. Ours also has a big free Christmas carol concert. I mean, there are always lots of those about anyway, but this is at a big venue where they often have quite big names coming to perform, and they've got professional carol singers or professional singers coming in, and it's quite difficult to get tickets, so I probably should have applied for tickets for that in about September, but I didn't, so I haven't got a ticket for that. But they do lots of different things like that. When you start checking out not just your local district or borough councils, but your parish councils and your county councils as well. Check out all of the councils that preside over your area and see what they've got going on. And quite often they are free or very cheap activities that are, you know, perhaps family friendly. As has another thing they have that's quite nice to do is a Christmas light turn on, and they have dancers and carol singers again, and lots of different market stalls, like a Christmas market as well. They had a laser show one year, things like that. It all doesn't cost anything, you know, it's a good bit of fun. So just see what is available for free. The other thing that we had in our neighbourhood before were some fantastic Christmas houses where people lit up the front of their houses, US style, you know, with lots of lights. I don't think there'll be quite as many this year. Energy bills are sky high, but they've always cost them quite a lot. Some of them collect for charity as well. So I already know that Justin's brother was saying there are two just down the road from him already. So there will be Christmas houses. So I'm looking forward to finding those. If I can find the clip, I will insert last year's one, or I'll put a link below to show you the Christmas house that we went to last year. The other things that's quite good, I find, is amateur pantos. I mean, you get pantos. We have our local theatre does a really great panto, and I think it is only about £17 a ticket, so it's not massively expensive. It's not like going to the West End. But if you find an amateur group, you could probably find just for £3 or £4 you can get in. And, you know, it's good fun. Oh, no, it isn't. Oh, yes, it is. So amateur pantos are good as well. So just have a little look and see what's available. That's one of my favourite things about Christmas, finding those kind of activities to do. Something else I like about Christmas these days is the chance to have a more eco-friendly festive period. So that's something I strive for. I think it's not an eco-friendly time for most of us, let's face it. You think about all the waste that goes on at Christmas and all the unnecessary consumption. But I think for me, I like to do small things where I can to make Christmas more eco-friendly. So I think you may have seen in some of last year's videos, I was reusing wrapping paper from the previous year, so I will carefully collect it. I try to open presents carefully. I fold the paper and I'll use it again, and particularly for those kind of foil covered papers, because they're not recyclable or anything with glitter in it. I don't think people realise that. They think they can shove it all in the recycling, but those are mixed materials and they're not recyclable. So I particularly like to save those if I can. And also I buy up any kind of glittery fabric, nice scarves and things that I see on my rounds of the charity shops and the boot sales throughout the year. If I see just some nice gold coloured fabric, for example, and it's at a reasonable price, I'll pick something like that up, and I'll wrap presents up. I would say I'd do it like Japanese style, but I'm not that expert, so I'll wrap up presents, put a ribbon around them and do it like that instead in some old fabric, and then I encourage the recipient to reuse it themselves or to give it back and I'll do it. I did also purchase some gift bags that were reusable last year, and I've got some of those as well to use again. If I found a sewing machine when I was clearing out the attic when we were moving, if I can get that up and running, that's the kind of thing I can be making in the future. So I'm sure those of you who've got better sewing skills than me could be making little gift bags, reusable ones for people to make it a little bit more eco-friendly. I also keep those gift bags, I use them again and again that you get for Christmas birthdays as well. I always reuse those and keep them. I think most people do, but I rarely would consider buying a new one. Never need to, always have loads of them. And Christmas gift boxes as well. And I keep things like tissue paper and that kind of thing. And when my children were smaller, the other thing I used to keep hold of from Christmas were the Quality Street type sweet wrappers, all different colours, sparkly foil type things. Difficult to recycle those, not impossible, but difficult. And we used to use them. We'd put them in the craft box, and they made all sorts of fabulous collages, and they stuck them to the inside of jam jars and that kind of thing. They were very creative, and I used to let them loose with the craft box all the time. So that actually brings me on to the next thing I like about Christmas, which is homemade decorations. And if you've got children, it's just such a good fun time for them to really, go to town with their creativity. And you can buy a few things. I used to buy some glitter. I mean, these days I'd make sure it was eco-friendly glitter because it used to be made of plastic, but it didn't occur to me. You can get food grade glitter as well, which obviously is just going to biodegrade. So we'd get that, we'd get some glue, we'd get some paints, some paint brushes, and maybe some coloured card, or maybe some gold or silver card. But most of the time we used paper that we had and we'd collected, and cardboard that we hadn't collected, and cereal boxes, and that kind of thing. In the old days I used to get milk delivered, and I'd keep the milk water tops, and they'd glue those onto things and make sparkly things. The insides of toilet rolls. I mean, we've still got, I must find it and dig it out again, we've still got a very sad looking snowman that comes out every year that one of my girls made, which is just a loo roll tube covered in cotton wool, had that all glued on, with some little felt things to make a face and a hat. So they loved making things like that, and it's so nice to bring them out now that they're adults. The ones I can still find, I've got a papier-mâché reindeer that one of my daughters made as well. You probably wouldn't recognise it as a reindeer, but apparently it was, that she made out of old newspaper and painted it. I think that might have started life as an old loo roll tube as well, for the base of it. So, it's such a fun thing to do with kids. They can really just let their creativity run wild, as I say, and make lots of lovely things. If you are an adult and you have got artistic talent, you can obviously make some lovely things yourself that are probably a lot more tasteful than my house ever was. And I would say I was never one of those people that wanted all my decorations to be on a theme and one colour and look really beautiful and tasteful. It was all, let the kids decorate, there'd be tinsel everywhere, especially all down the bottom bit of the tree, because that's the only bit they could reach. And when they'd gone to bed, I'd have to kind of rearrange the decorations because I'd let them do it. So I thought it was a fun time. It was a time for kids. But you might be a little more tasteful in your approach to decorations, but you can still make some homemade ones, and they cost very little. The other thing I noticed the other day as we were on one of our walks through the woods near here, that there was quite a lot of holly with berries on it. And I thought, well, nobody will miss a few sprigs of that if I was to get some of that and put it in a vase and make it a nice Christmas table decoration. So I'm going to do that. And you can also find mistletoe. We found that before. And, just ivy and just any kind of foliage that has lots of green and maybe some red berries. It looks really nice, or yellow berries. So you can make some tasteful displays of that. I should really say at this point, ask the landowner's permission before you start hacking lumps off people's trees. So, but I think, when I go through the woods, I don't know who the landowner is. I don't suppose they'll miss a few sprigs of holly, as I said. Another thing that I love about Christmas that is frugal, doesn't cost anything, but it means a lot, is seeing family and friends. And I think most of us, particularly if we were deprived of seeing family and friends over that whole COVID fiasco, will really appreciate them much more now than perhaps we did before. And that's certainly the case with me. It's so nice to be able to spend time. Most people have time off work and spend quality time with the people that you love and that you care about. And that's what I enjoy. It's a chance for us to all get together. My whole family will manage to get together over Christmas, and it's always like a big loud party because there's so many of us. But it's, it's fun. But one person doesn't have to bear the cost of hosting that, so we're all going to take a dish and make a kind of, it won't be potluck because we will plan it. You could do a potluck thing if you had friends coming, and just everyone bring a dish and a drink, and just party and see what you end up with. It's quite nice. But perhaps for Christmas you want something a little more organised, so we'll probably coordinate that a bit more nearer the time. But I do appreciate having the time to do that, play silly games with people, have a chat, really eat together, drink together, watch a bit of TV together even. It's just lovely. I appreciate that. It doesn't cost an awful lot. And as I say, if you share the burden of the entertaining and the food and drink and that kind of thing, then it doesn't have to be a strain on one particular person. So that's the last of my 5 festive frugal things. I would love to hear about what yours are. If you leave them in the comments below, and then, as I say, do have a look over at Tess's channel and see what she has to say about it. She's got lots of frugal ideas, so it's really worth checking her channel out already and subscribing if you haven't already. I'm glad to be back on YouTube. I'm going to try and get back to my 2 videos a week schedule that I had before I moved house. I really need to get back into some sort of routine now. It's been chaos for so long, so hopefully this one will arrive on Sunday, and hopefully there'll be another one the following Wednesday, and I'll get back into my Sunday-Wednesday pattern. So if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give me the thumbs up and do subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.